It took a little bit longer than expected, but that is now the refit of the Argentavis complete. As well as a brand new coat of paint, I have overhauled the computer systems on board completely, and I've even given it its new name. I've christened it the Prestinium. I'll give it a quick once over before I go inside and upload Ben onto the mainframe and just do a quick check of the computer systems. Once that's finished, I'll get Ben to analyse the jump drive, run some simulations, and then do a practical test just to see how it works. Well, everything out here looks good. Time to head inside. I took a look at the ship's logs earlier. It looks like these bastards took out my relay beacon in Proxima Centauri, which I guess explains how they managed to find me. But it doesn't matter anyway. I already sent the signal, so what they did pretty much won't make any difference now. Perfect. I've made some changes to the airlock system so that both doors close automatically once I'm out, just to keep things more secure. I also found out that Varus only had 2 more crewmates with him. There is a reference to a 3rd crew member, but all his records were deleted before the 9th of May and there's no further mention of him, so I'm guessing he and Varus probably fell out and he had him killed. Once again, Ben, can you please upload your core program onto this computer mainframe for me?
Affirmative, Commander. The mainframe identified. Uploading. Uploading complete. Commencing initialization protocols.
That's perfect. Thank you, Benson. That should be long enough. Ben, please respond and confirm successful mainframe transfer.
Acknowledged, Commander. I can confirm that I have successfully transferred my core program onto the ship's mainframe. Are you able to hear me over the intercom system?
Copy that, Ben. I hear you loud and clear. Now, let's get to work. Well, the computer systems in the cockpit look okay. Ben, give me a status report, please.
Acknowledged. All systems are running at optimal levels, and no faults have been detected. The reactor is idle at 0.7%. Weapon systems are online, and the jump drive is fully charged.
Excellent. Speaking of the jump drive, let's get the details on screen. Ben, can you analyse this device for me, please, and tell me how it works?
Yes, Commander. According to this information, the jump drive is able to create an Einstein-Rosen bridge, also known as a wormhole, that connects 2 points in space-time together. Would you like me to go into greater technical detail on how this device operates?
No thanks, Ben. I'd rather you didn't, but that thing sounds worryingly similar to the gravity drive. Can you confirm that it is safe to use?
Affirmative, Commander. I have analyzed the data and already run some simulations. And I can confirm that while it uses a similar principle to the gravity drive, the jump drive uses a different method in order to achieve this. As a result, it is inherently safer, but unfortunately it uses more power and has a significantly shorter range than the gravity drive.
Copy that, Ben. Thanks for that analysis. I've already added 2 waypoints here so we can do an unmanned test of the jump drive and analyse the results. So, let's get to it. I just hope we don't lose the ship. Okay, I should be sufficiently far away, so I will just access the Prestinium using the antenna and get access to its remote control. That way I can activate the jump sequence remotely. So, here goes. Right, that's the waypoint set. Everything looks good. Let's do this.
Jump drive activated. Jumping in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jumping.
Whoa, and it's gone. Right, let's check to see if it's gone where we wanted it to. And it has. Ben, give me a quick status check on the Prestinium, just to confirm the jump hasn't damaged the ship in any way.
Commander, I can confirm that the Prestinium has successfully completed the jump with no damage or structural changes, and that all systems are still operating at nominal levels.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. Time to repeat the process once again and get this thing to jump back to where it belongs. Right, I'll just go back to the jump drive, select the waypoint, jump waypoint 1, that should be the one next to the asteroid base, and once again, No countdown this time, please, Ben. I think I'll just watch this one quietly and see what happens.
By your command.
There it is. Perfect. Once again, Ben, what is the post-jump status on the Prestinium?
Commander, the Prestinium has successfully completed its second jump with no damage or structural changes, and that all systems are still operating at nominal levels.
Thanks, Ben. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Now that we've managed to do this, I think it's time we gave this a manned test. Just to see what happens when I'm inside. Given everything we've seen so far, it could indeed be safe enough. But I guess there's only one way of finding out. Right, all systems are green, waypoint is set, here goes. Whoa, that was weird. For a brief second there I felt weightless again, then it felt like I was being pulled in all directions before suddenly coming back to normal gravity, and everything looked like it was all stretched out and warped for a second there. I feel a bit dizzy, but apart from that I'm fine. I mean, I don't have any burning desires to gouge out my own eyeballs. Ben, check my vitals for me, please.
Acknowledged, Commander. Apart from slightly raised levels of adrenaline, your vital signs are all within normal parameters, and you are showing no ill effects of the jump.
That sounds good. Right, I'll just finish turning the ship around, and then I'll get ready to jump back to the original waypoint again. There we go, waypoint set. Everything looks okay. And jumping. It didn't feel as bad that time around. Maybe I'm getting used to it. I still feel a bit dizzy though. Anyway, I better check the systems. Yeah, I mean, the ship has jumped 4 times now and everything looks perfectly fine. So yeah, all in all, I would say that this jump test has been a spectacular success. Both myself and the ship have pulled through unscathed. I have to admit, it's not the most pleasant of experiences, but it is something that I'm more than willing to endure in order to travel back home to Earth. At least this way the travel time will be cut down to days rather than years. I just wonder what everybody at home's going to say when they see me come back in a captured pirate ship. I guess all that's left now is for me to park this just outside the asteroid base and start loading it up with all the supplies that I'll need for my voyage back home. I've got plenty of ice on board which I can process into oxygen, water and hydrogen. I've got plenty of uranium fuel to last the journey back. Plus, I can combine the food rations from the base and rescue ship with those that are already on the Prestinium, which will be over 300 units, which should hopefully be more than enough for the voyage back home. The only thing that's bothering me is that unknown signal that Ben mentioned previously. We still don't know what it is, and I want to take one last look at that signal before I decide what I'm going to do about it. I need to decide whether I'm going to jump to its location and take a closer look at it, or just ignore it completely and head back to Earth. Anyway, that's a decision I'll make once I get to the command center. Okay Benson, run a comparison match on that signal from Alpha Centauri A3 again for me. Are you sure there are no matches in our database?
Affirmative, Commander. I can confirm that there are no matches to the signal in our current database.
Okay, I've noticed that there's very little fluctuation in the signal itself. What is the chances that this is just a naturally occurring phenomenon?
Yes, Commander. While that is a possibility, the signal being emitted is displaying characteristics that suggests that there is an 82.1% chance that it is artificial in origin.
Right, so it could be man-made then. Well, that is interesting. That means it could be anything from a beacon, a long-range probe to pirate bait. Or it might even be an actual ship that's stranded out there and needs assistance. Right, my mind's made up. It's only one jump away, so let's shut this place down, investigate that signal, then head back to Earth. If it does turn out to be pirate bait and it's a trap laid out by Varys and his buddies before we met, then at least this time, I'll be prepared for them. Well, there's nothing I want to take from here, so I'll just turn off the lights and move on to the workshop, and do the same there. There's not any real point in me recycling these machines. I don't really need the components, and I won't be coming back here unless it's to visit this place in the far future, and I certainly won't be stopping anywhere between here and Earth, that's for sure. Besides, at the end of the day, anything else I take with me just adds to the overall weight of the Prestinium, and ideally I want to keep that ship as light as possible. Ah, what the heck. I'll just turn off the reactor and shut the space down completely. If I need to come back again in the future, I'll just power it all up again. There we are. Small reactor, off. Well, I guess it's time to say goodbye to the Takahashi and Sarkar Memorial Base. Who knows, maybe one day I'll come back. I need to be careful not to trip over the escape pod hatch there. Benson, can you input the coordinates into the jump drive that will bring us into a stable orbit around Alpha Centauri A3, preferably as close to the source of the unknown signal as you can, please?
Acknowledged, Commander. The coordinates have been entered as a new waypoint in the navigational computer and jump drive.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ben. Okay, all systems check. All the readings are in the green. Right. It's time to leave our asteroid base and jump into the vicinity of Alpha Centauri A3. Here goes nothing. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. But check this out, we're here. A journey like this used to take days, but it took the jump drive mere seconds. This is incredible. Anyway, let's examine the source of that unknown signal. It also appears to be in orbit around this planet, and it's about 10 kilometers away from our current position. I'll try using the camera to get a better look at it. I can't see anything yet, but it might be too far away. Either that or it's quite small. I'll try hailing them instead. See if I get a response. I'll also move the ship a bit closer, just to get a better look at whatever's out there. This is Commander Robertson of the ISS Prestinium to the unidentified object in orbit around Alpha Centauri A3. We have received a signal from your location and are here to offer you any assistance. Do you receive me? Over. I say again, this is Commander Robertson of the ISS Prestinium to the unidentified object in orbit around Alpha Centauri A3. We are here to help. Do you require any assistance? Over. No response. It probably doesn't even have comms. It might just be a probe or a beacon or something. try manoeuvring the ship around a little bit to see if I can see it from another angle. I might be able to get the sunlight to glance off it or something. I'll have to keep my distance from that planet and not get caught up in its gravity well and pulled into it, otherwise me and the ship could end up being crushed like a bug. Which I would imagine is not a particularly pleasant way to go, but hey, at least it would be quick. Damn it. I'm still not seeing anything. Are you sure there's something out there, Ben?
Affirmative, Commander. Our short-range sensors are detecting an object with a diameter of 20 meters centered at the source of the unknown signal.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, but I'm still not seeing anything out there. Unless, of course, it just happens to be invisible. And what the heck is that eerie sound? Benson, can you quickly check the comms, or at least the speakers on this ship? I'm getting some sort of weird noise or interference coming through.
As you wish, Commander. I have run a diagnostic of the communication system and did not find any faults, but I am detecting increased electromagnetic interference coming from the source of the unknown signal.
Oh, that's not good. Thanks, Ben. Ah, there it is. It's blocking out the light from the stars that are behind it. That's how I can see it. But what on earth is that thing? I'm almost on top of it and I can only see it using this method. So whatever it is must be very small and very dark. It must be a beacon or a probe or something. I need to get a closer look at this thing, and I can't do this inside the Prestinium. I'm going to go out and use the grazer to take a proper look at this thing. It's got much better lights and it's far more nimble than the construction ship. I need to know what this thing is doing out here and what it is. Actually, I don't know how long I'm going to be out here, so I'll take a spare oxygen tank with me just to be on the safe side. Okay, let's go and take a look at this thing. What is that? It just looks like some slim, dark-coloured cuboid. There's no features on it. Ben, are you absolutely sure this is where the signal is coming from?
Affirmative, Commander. Our sensors show that the unknown signal is being emitted by the object located directly in front of you.
If this is some kind of probe, I've never seen anything like this before. There's no propulsion, no external sensors. This thing just doesn't make any sense. Benson, get the Prestinium to run a sensor sweep in this thing. Scan it. I need to know what it's made of.
I am sorry, Commander. Our sensors are unable to penetrate the material on the surface of the object.
Damn it. Okay, thanks anyway, Ben. Oh, hang on a second. There appears to be some kind of script or symbols written on the side of this thing. I can't seem to make them out, though. It's just this object. There doesn't appear to be anything else out here. Ben, I'm going out to take a closer look. Warn me if you detect any changes coming from the object at all.
Affirmative, Commander. Please exercise extreme caution.
Will do. Oh, this is weird. The rest of the symbols are all blurry, but the one I'm focusing on seems to be crystal clear. Ben, if you're seeing this, do you recognize any of the symbols or text written on the side of this thing?
Negative, Commander. The symbols on the side of the object do not correspond to any known language in my database.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that. I don't know about you, but I've got a strong feeling that this thing definitely isn't one of ours, and by that, I mean human. I am now designating this object as an extraterrestrial artifact, but we need to take it back to our asteroid base and analyse it further to know for sure. We certainly can't risk taking it all the way with us back to Earth. I also need to double check to make sure it isn't of human origin before I give myself a crazy spiky hairstyle, grow a beard, throw my arms in the air and shout aliens.
I agree, Commander. That would appear to be the most prudent course of action.
Right, I don't want to risk touching this thing, so I'm going to pick it up using the grazer via remote control instead and take it back to the Prestinium that way. Every time I get closer to the artifact, that eerie noise I'm hearing is getting louder and louder. Not only that, but I'm starting to get a sort of feeling of pressure coming from the inside of my head. It's not good. When we get back to the base, I might make a separate platform for storing this thing. Likewise, if this artifact is showing any signs that it's going to make me ill, mentally or physically, it's going to end up being launched into deepest space or into the centre of the Alpha Centauri A star faster than you could ever imagine. That's it. Now gently does it. Well, that's interesting. There appears to be a field around the artifact that prevents the grazer from touching it physically, but still close enough that it can lock onto it using its landing gear. Almost there. That looks about right. Perfect. That's the artifact locked in place. Now all I've got to do is dock the grazer and then set the jump coordinates back for the asteroid base. I just hope this is going to be secure enough to withstand the jump. I don't want to have to come back for it again.
Caution, Commander Robertson. The artifact is emitting a signal that is interfering with several of the systems on board the Prestinium.
Oh crap. Is it serious, Ben? I mean, is the ship in any kind of imminent danger right now?
Negative, but prolonged exposure may result in irreparable damage to several key systems, forcing you to replace them. Those most affected appear to be the most complex.
Copy that, Ben. This thing's starting to become more trouble than it's worth. It shouldn't take us that long to get back to base, and once we do, we can ditch this thing and put it somewhere where it's less likely to do any harm. And hopefully study it and find out how it works. Okay, setting a course back to the Takahashi and Sarkar Memorial Base. I never thought I'd be going back to it this soon. Oh well, it hasn't stopped my voyage back to Earth, merely postponed it slightly. Course laid in, engaging jump drive. Oh, what the hell is going on?
Commander Robertson. Catastrophic power surge detected in the jump drive.
Oh, shit! Abort the jump, Ben!
Negative.
Abort! Abort!
Unable to comply.
Ah! What happened? Ben, report!
Danger, Commander. The artifact created a power surge, which has resulted in a misjump and disabled the ship's main drive. The Prestinium has fallen into a decaying orbit of an unknown planet and lacks the power to recover. I strongly advise that you abandon ship using the escape pod.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me. What planet? Where the hell are we? This has turned into a sodding nightmare. Ah, shit! Trying to climb into an escape pod when the ship's rolling around like this is not exactly the most easiest thing to do. Ah, come on, come on, come on! Right, I'm in. Let's get out of here. Well, at least this thing works as intended. Ah, crap. And I just fixed that thing up as well. I've got a bad habit of losing ships, it would appear. Benson, does this escape pod have enough thrust to escape this planet's gravity well?
Negative, Commander.
Well, shit. I just hope the heat shield's strong enough to survive re-entry, and that the damn parachute works. But where on earth did this planet come from? There were no planets like this in the Alpha Centauri A star system. Which only means we must be somewhere completely different. Great. Okay, here goes. Haha, success! Well, it looks like I've survived to fight another day. But the big question is, without a ship, what the hell do I do now?